so today's episode, what we're going to be doing is installing the fuel lines, the stainless steel fuel lines in the center of the car. These are from Tangerine Racing, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing it in a way that's pretty simple. We don't have to remove the wheel or the engine, and we get it in there in a pretty easy manner. You'll notice in the video that the car is not yet painted. That's because these videos are shot a little bit out of order, and I actually just happened to find this video. I didn't even remember that I made it. But so yeah, let's check it out.
If you'd like to support the channel, please help us out by giving us a like and subscribe, and we're always interested in your comments.
Okay, so first step, we basically have our car up on our high lift, as high as we can get it for this task here. The higher the better, is another way to say that. And here are the two fuel lines that we're going to be installing. We have got the carpet already out of this car. You don't have to take all the carpet out, but we do have the center tunnel exposed, and that will be necessary. And so first thing we're going to do is remove this little access panel right here. And there's our two fuel lines right there.
Note that the one on the right side of the car is larger. That's the supply line to the engine.
And we've got our fuel tank already removed. And that is where our fuel lines come in to the front area from the center tunnel. I'm going to remove the shifter to give us some better visibility and access to the center tunnel. I'm just going to take a little measurement of how far my my shifter was onto the rod there, just so I can put it exactly back to where I want it. And then I'm going to remove this this right here to detach the shifter from the rod. So I used a little bit of model paint to mark for me the shifter and its location and rotation with respect to the rod, and just make a photo of this for myself so I can put it basically in the same orientation once again. And the yellow paint is just to give me a reference. Once that is loosened right there, then we just give it a pull, push, and we should be able to get it off of there now. The shifter is now out, and you can see we've got quite a bit of flaking going on here, rust. Nothing terminal, but it does seem to be coming off in flakes here. We'll definitely recommend doing something about this before we get this all done. But here you can see the two lines, fuel lines go in there, and they are held together by a little clamp here. So I've used a little instrument to get in there to just pry open this this little clamp here, and now now these fuel lines move freely. These clamps feel very, very weak. Okay, now I've just made this area, I made these tubes a little wet with some simple green, and now I'm just sort of using a hard, soft instrument just to push them back. So having pushed the lines into the rubber as far as it'll go, you start to see that the lines are starting to coil up here a little bit. Right inside here, there's another one of those clamps that's holding the fuel lines. So you need to widen that up so they can move freely. Okay, I'm now under the vehicle on a little creeper, and I'm coming over here. I've got my light suspended here on this cable, and now I should just be able to pull these out. And they're coming right out. Here I'm just pulling the whole thing out, all the way, including the metal bit that's on the front. And that's it. That's the big one. So another option, if you don't want to pull the metal portion all the way through the back, then it's basically just to cut it right here. Cut your line right here, and then pull out the front part right there, and then go into the back where we will pull out the rear portion. That's probably a lot easier than having to mess with getting stuck in the channel over there. So let's take a quick look at our lines here. This is how they were in the car, and as you can see, the gold finish is starting to get a little eroded there. Overall, the lines are still in good shape, but then you turn these over to see how, because you remember they're sitting at the bottom and the floor pan is rusting there, and this one too. So you do have some potential for, rust to potentially eat through that. Go ahead and treat this rust with some metal ready. Get that process started. So I'm laying the new lines right next to the old ones, and it looks like we've got a slightly different angle here on the new ones, so that's going to make it more difficult to install. So I'm going to go ahead and bend those back a little bit. Okay, right, so I've got these two fuel lines here laid out in the orientation in which they will be going in, and we're going to be putting in this one first.
The supply line will be on the right.
And we'll be putting that one in first because that one goes farthest over here. And we are going to have to put it in. We're going to have to put it into the car from the bottom. And then we're going to have to turn it like this because we have this head here. And that takes up a lot of space. And the only way to do that is to run it along here and go in that way. We are coming in more or less over here. And so that head is going to be always taking up space. So we have to come in, and then once we finally get it over there, then we turn it 180 degrees and then put it into the proper orientation. The supply line, and it's hard to tell because these two lines are exactly the same diameter, but this one should be larger and it should match that one. So the supply line is on the right side and the return line is on the left side. So we're going to put it in that order, and we're going to start with the supply line.
If there's any doubt about which one goes on which side, note how when they're finally installed, they both come out to approximately the same length on the right where the barbs are. So on the right side is the supply opening, and on the left side is the return.
So we're going to go ahead and stick it in. And it goes in quite easily. And here we go on our route into, oh, no, we've already reached a stopping point, so we'll go up and see how is it going up there. Okay, as you're doing this part, you'll want to try to keep the head aimed low and more or less scraping the bottom of the channel there. That way it will not ride up high over the electrical that's up there in the channel. So you can kind of hear it scraping, and that means you're on the bottom. Okay, right, so I found the blockage. It is occurring about right here, inside of here. The head is getting stuck. Well, you can't really see it. I'll explain to you what's going on. The head is turned right here. There is something blocking it right here. I believe it's probably the guide for the shifter or whatnot. We are going to have to sort of pull it around this way, pull it hard against this wall to get it to pass that. And I can feel it with my finger. I'm pulling it right now. And as you can see, maybe you can see it, there it is. Yep, there it is. Okay, so that's the thing is, and if you have a buddy to help you, you can get them to help you. I'm going to just stick this right here, and hopefully I can push it and then get it past that. Okay, so we pushed it forward past that like I thought we would do. I did not have a helper help me. I just stuck that instrument in there, and I got it to about right here, and it's moving freely now. And at this point, I'm under here, and you can see there's the end of it, right around where the rear of the motor is. That's where we have. So I'm just going to push it some more through right now. So at this point, our line is approximately at the back of the motor, and we're appearing here. We are angled in the opposite direction still, but now we're going to go ahead and push it forward all the way till it bottoms out. And that gets you to right about there. There we go. Pushing it on through. And once we're about this far, we can go ahead and turn it. And this gets it into the proper orientation into the front of the car, as well as the back. And we can push it up a little further. Okay, so at this point, our line is running through. It's running just about right over the clamps area there. It's running in the proper position there. And right there, it's coming right there, ready to be plugged into the rubber there. And I've just pushed it through from the inside. All right, so we're under the car again, and I'm getting ready to install the second line, which is the return line, which goes on the centermost opening, which is kind of hard to see from here. But there you go. You see, I filled it up with some simple green already to give us a little lubrication. So we're going to go through that hole, and we have oriented. We're going in the opposite direction to final. When it's in finally, it will be flipped like so, but we're going in like this. So as you can see, we brought it in and it's come in at a bit of an angle, which means that it's probably dead-ended around here. So I'm going to pull it back a little bit. Okay, so I pulled it back a bit, and there you can see where we're at. We're right around somewhere in the rear of the transmission. And just pulling it back a little bit caused me to be able to see it. There it is. And so he's right there in a perfect spot for us. So now, and what I've done is I've just pulled it this way. And now what we're going to do is we're going to try to bring it in more. So I'm just working it in until it comes to another stop, twisting a little as I go. So we've come to another stop about right here. Okay, so we've come to a stop about right here. I can reach in here and feel it. And what happened is it sort of just got stuck on one of the indentations on the bottom floor, you know, something like that. So I've just sort of lifted it up. It just popped out. I can feel it's free, so I'm going to go in the back now and just push it out some more. We're going way up there now. Let's go have a look. So I didn't find anything binding, so I went ahead and pushed it up all the way. It goes pretty much all the way now. I'll go flip it this way. There it goes. I just did it, and those are in there real nicely now. They should fit in this little weak little thing here. And it looks really nice. Okay, so there we are. There's our line, and there's our destination. We've pushed up maybe a little too far. We can just push it back and get some light in here. And there we go. Plug it onto our opening there. And just push it by hand. Let's go over here and take a look. Oh, not out yet, not all the way. Just needs a little more push. Okay, everything is looking really good. They're right next to each other. I can feel them both under here. And there we go. Done, right? Almost. So I'm just going to use a tiny bit of silicone now. And I'm going to put them right here on these lines. So I'm going to pull them out just a little farther than where I want them to be. And this one's nice and tight. I don't like this one. It's too loose, but this one is okay. So I'll put a little on this one. I just want that to bond with the rubber so that that thing is not constantly moving whenever we're trying to tighten it or whatnot. And so I was able to now find the little metal clamps and fold them over. This one was not too bad shape. This one has gotten so weak that it won't really hold anything, and that's a little bit more of a problem now that we've got metal lines in there, because you can imagine going over bumps and these things rattling around maybe. So what I'm going to do, I've got a little bit left of this nice sound deadening material from when I fixed the floorboards and recovered these floorboards. What I'm going to do is just sort of wrap the two field lines like so, and kind of hold them against the floor there, and I think that should do it to keep those things from rattling around. So yeah, so there it is, wrapped under there, holding it to the bottom of this channel, and that seems to have done the trick. I don't get any more noise. It's holding it fast, even holding that brake line there a little bit there too. We will want to do a little paint work here, or a little more treatment of this floor. It's not rusted terminally, but we can save it now if we apply some good stuff on that. And finally, I basically put my shifter linkage back on there, bolted this down loosely, and then just tap this back and forth to get it to align exactly where I had it before, and in the same rotation that it was before. And it should be just like it was before.